Do you see a lot of that in terms of like ghost employees or just people that, they were fired or they quit and they're still getting paid?
Yes, it's more common than you would think. The larger the organization and the more diverse it is, and now with, of course, being companies being spread all over the country easily, we had a case not too long ago, hotel operator, and he insisted on seeing the checks himself, and then he said, "No, that's all right." Well, after a few months, he said, "I want to see him again," and the staff here in Dallas had added employees, and there were some that he had fired that were still being paid. They were taking the checks and cashing them.
Mm-hmm.
That's ghost employees is not unusual. You have to have control. That's one reason to have the checks separate. There's a whole series of internal control. Your sister's probably talked about it, of how you handle the payroll, the collection of the hours, who approves it, who makes changes, who cuts the checks, and who hands out the checks. Because if the guy that hands out the checks is not the guy that determines what the checks are going to be cut, well, he's sitting at the end of the day with checks in his hand going, "Hey, where's Fred?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no Fred. There never has been. And so you get caught that way. It happens quite a bit. Another one is ghost punching. And this happened here at a recent case at an imaging center here in Dallas. The administrator said, "I recommended a biometric clock. So you have to be there to punch it. Somebody can't punch you in or out.
Right.
If it's not your fingerprints, it doesn't take. They either have to have your hand or you have to be there." And she said, "Oh, I don't need that." And I said, "Let's put a camera on the clock." At the end of the week, she fired 3 people for buddy punching their friends.
And then they're in, and then they came in on time, but really, they came in 2 hours late, hungover.
And that's the kind of thing that then leads to, well, if I can do that for my friends and I'm handing out the checks, well, why don't I just add somebody else to the payroll, and now you have a ghost employee?
Yeah, there's a lot of fraud in payroll.
Yes.